Hello world, my name is Klaus Rostel and I'm doing 100 innovation keynotes in 100 days. Today's number 73 and today I'm going to give an example of low-key practical innovation, which is Saga's garden swing. Because today was Saga's 3-year birthday. Today she turned 3. Pretty amazing. Now this is Saga and here she is blowing out candles on her birthday cake that Sue made for her. I didn't do anything. I just showed up, which is really nice. The first one went well, the others not so well. We got her a lot of presents, and some of these are from her grandparents, because in Sue's family, they have this tradition with just overwhelming each other with presents. Small, but a lot of them. Pretty cool. And since Saga loves opening presents, this was great. One of those presents was a camera, which allows her to be creative. It's actually a camera for children, really, really cheap, but you can take pictures on some sort of micro SD card, and that means you can throw them up on the TV and she can see her kind of creative outlet. Nice and fun and cool. That worked fine. There was also another gift, a swing. That led to a challenge. I need to hang the swing. And Sue said, Klaus, you're taller than me. You hang the swing. I said, okay, I'll do my best. Step number 1, recon. This is a picture of our garden. You can see the house in kind of up there. It's our garden. As you can see, we have quite a bit of greenery. We have some trees. However, after checking out, there was no easy way. Some branches were doable, but they were too far up. We didn't have a ladder to reach them. Were they sturdy enough? Some branches were good, but there's something else in the way. I considered hanging something in a doorway. That was not a good option, like an outdoor doorway, not an indoor doorway, but still, there was no easy way. Led to step 2. So what do we do now? Resources. Check out what do we have to work with. Turns out, not much. I'm not exactly a handy sort of guy. Sue is a bit more handy than I am, but most of her tools are for gardening, so we don't really have like a lot of tools or a lot of raw materials lying around that could fix this problem. So, step number 3, improvisation. What does that mean? Well, in this case, I took what was left of our Christmas tree. You can see this is the core of a Christmas tree with all of its branches sawed off. We did that after Christmas, and then we threw out the branches, and then we thought, well, this will throw out someday. That day hasn't come yet. It's not that tall, and it's also not that elegant, but it could work. So I wrapped the ropes from the swing around that, as you can see here on the picture, and then I hung it, kind of pushed it into a crevasse in the big tree we have in the center of the garden. So you can see here, and that tree is right next to our gazebo, so I shoved it so it kind of just barely goes under the gazebo roof and it kind of tips up on the roof. So if there's weight on the swing, here's kind of the swing under the blah, 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 the branch. Then if there's weight here, then it kind of flips it this way, and that means it presses against the roof, so it's stable. I hear what you're thinking. Maybe not super good, but it was a start. Here you can see how the kind of the old ex-Christmas tree goes under the roof, and you can see where it like will push up against the roof. Now, as you may notice, because I noticed this as well, this was not super sturdy. This was already iteration 2. Iteration 1, I'd put a little bit more for what you see on the picture on the left, but then it just went against the roof, and that wasn't that sturdy. Here it found like a corner. I could prop it against something. But as is pretty obvious from the picture, this is not that sturdy. There's a chance it might snap. Would this be a good idea? Well, then I found a snow shovel that I managed to wreck during the winter season. It was a cheap snow shovel. I don't know how, but I managed to kind of destroy the shovel part while shoveling snow. So I had this leftover piece of hard, round wood. Aha! A bit of duct tape, a bit of cable binders, like these plastic strips, and you can see, so the three kind of, the 3 white spaces you see here are duct tape rolled around both the ex-Christmas tree and the ex-shovel. And then the plastic things you can see are cable binders. They're pretty solid. And here you can see the blue cable binder. The green cable binder is actually 2 cable binders that wrap it around a beam in the gazebo. As you can see, it kind of goes up against that beam, but it's also wrapped around so it doesn't fall down when there's no pressure on the swing. Now we're getting somewhere. So this was now iteration number 3, and this is what it looks like. It's not pretty. It's not safe. Yeah, sure, it's safe, but it's not elegant. It's not up to code, whatever that might mean in this case. But we tested it. Here's Saga on it, happy as a clam. Everything held, everything worked just like it should. And that, of course, meant we got Sue to take a picture of us, and success. And, of course, this got a filter and went on Instagram because who are we kidding, right? Who am I kidding, at least? So, a little piece of homemade backyard innovation. Couple of takeaways on this. Things that might be useful for other people. Number 1, use what you have. Even when you don't have a lot, you often have something. It can be terrible craftsmanship. When you're prototyping, it doesn't matter that anyone with a carpenting experience or anyone who's a carpenter by trade would look at what I've done and go, "Ooh, it hurts the eyes." But it's okay during the prototype phase. Aesthetics also don't matter at this point. The reason for that is what may be good enough today doesn't have to be good enough for a week from now. Now, I'm sure if I let this monstrosity hang in our garden, then Sue will be like, Klaus, you either fix it or get somebody to fix it. I'll say, okay, fair enough. Because it's not, let's face it, it's not pretty, it's not elegant, and even though it is safe, it doesn't look safe. So if some other kids come over, they have their parents, those parents are going to look at it and say, yeah, Mr. Handyman, I don't really want our kids on that swing because it looks unsafe. It isn't. It is very, very safe, but it doesn't look that way. That also counts. But today, it worked. She got to swing. It was part of her birthday party. We got to do other stuff. So there was a success here. And then we can always fix it next week. Prototyping is great for discovering options. By doing it this way, I figure out, okay, here's how I could hang it. I could hang it this way with like a crossbar as I did, or I could find a longer rope and hang it over a higher branch. Maybe that would need a ladder. Maybe I could do some sort of a swing maneuver elegance thing and make it work. There were other ways I could hang it. So I kind of explored some options while looking at this, that if I just said can't do it, then I wouldn't have explored those options. Small success means a lot, especially if it's your birthday. Then it really means a lot. The difference between getting to swing and not getting to swing means a huge deal when you're 3 years old. And when you are 41 years old, helping that 3-year-old. Have to admit that. Small success counts for a lot. Documentation is always good. Now, the reason for that, here I get to use it for Keynote, which is nice. I get to have that as memory for later. Saga gets to be shown that as a memory for later. Sue gets to have that as a memory for later. We get to send those pictures, if we wanted to parents and to siblings and to friends or whoever might care about this sort of thing, and some who won't care, but will just get it because of child propaganda, that sort of thing. But documentation is good, because what's the worst thing? Sure, I have a couple of pictures on my phone I could delete, but who knows what I want to use those pictures for in the years to come. I mean, right now I get to use them for this. That's pretty nice. Final tip on prototyping. Iterate. 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 And of course, there's a small bonus tip. And this is, yes, it's a serious bonus tip, but it's also just, I have an excuse, so of course I'm going to do this. Width of smile is a good KPI. See? And with that, happy birthday, Saga. Even though she's actually right now asleep, it's over midnight, it's not technically her birthday anymore where we live, and she is sleeping. But still, happy birthday. Thank you. And that's not to Saga, that's to you guys listening. Thank you for listening.